But I was going to talk to you as musicians. The musicians in the crowd, I kept hearing about timing. It had a whole lot of meanings in bluegrass. But if you can imagine yourself a golf team. No, I better not talk about golfing with y'all. We got three things that we'll discuss in this nature. It's called tempo or pace. Pace and tempo. And that's the dead click of a clock. 120 beats a minute means there's going to be 2 clicks per every second you got when you're playing that. It's a simple thing. It's a number. It's a point of reference for the band. That's your pace. Your rhythm is the heartbeat you add to that, the life you add to it. It can be a straight like that, or a rhythm. That's the life you're going to add to it. So now here we've got pace, tempo, and we've got rhythm. What's timing? The timing's how you apply that lead to it. Do you play on top of it? Do you play in front of it? Do you play behind it? Because it plays all kinds of different places. I haven't got something I can use for a chart here, but I sometimes draw this out. And I draw a great big line, and then a little line, and a half-size line, and a little line, and a great big line. And I go across there, and I put 3 lines up on front of this where that beat occurs. One in front of it, or one behind it. The beat hits, and then you see the musician play, and it'll be consistent all the way on every beat. They're playing just a little bit behind it. What happens there? The musician is unsure of his music, unsure of himself, or he's listening to somebody else to try to react to him. I've got a band together right now, and they came to me. They said, we want to be your band. We love a record you did called Fragments of My Imagination. I did it back in the 70s, all jam band music, you know, just stuff that I'd written that day. Because they liked, I was in this bunch called the Newgrass Revival once upon a time. I played bass in that group. It was the most boring band I ever played in my life. Because it always played behind itself. When you're listening to a man over on the other side of the stage to play a note that's going to trigger you to play something, guess what? By the time you've heard him and reacted to it, you're behind. And your music's constantly pulling and dragging at itself. You know, your men, when you got your band together, everybody ought to be rehearsed so they know their parts. And the trick when you get up to performing is like Baker was, the execution of a preconceived idea. You know, it's like Earl and Baker were the 2 best at that ever was. Their music is the execution of a preconceived idea. Think of it this way. There's a guy named Yul Brynner one time did 10,000 performances of a play called The King and I. It was the same script every night. What did he do at performance 6,995 that brought him back for 6,996? What did he do? Kenny Baker played the same break on every tune that he played the day I came in the band and the day, well, he wasn't with the band when I came with it. James Bryan was there. Kenny cut his hand. At that point, he was out for about the first 2 or 3 months I was in the band, the 77 time, not the 67 time, the first time I came up here. You play. You don't be listening to people around you. You get yourself set and you get in that functionality.